We want to examine now how the Dream 3.0, Dr. King's dream, has been personified throughout the world. Nelson Mandela, after being freed from prison, came to Washington to address the U.S. Congress. He received a standing ovation for quoting the final line of the I Have a Dream speech, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Christopher Till is director of the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg, South Africa, and he joins us via Skype. Mr. Till, they were both two iconic figures. They were both fighting against discrimination in their home countries at the same time, but actual struggles were vastly different. Based on what you know, did Mandela think about Dr. King's efforts through nonviolence?
I'm sure he did. If you think of the two figures in two different continents, pitted against discrimination and the attempts to free their people, the parallels are there. The fact that Dr. King adopted a pacifist resistance, and initially Nelson Mandela did, and finally turned to armed struggle in a response to the continued violence perpetuated against black South Africans by the government, and the fact that he quoted Dr. King and used those words of this famous speech, which we are commemorating today, certainly gives an indication that he responded and had a sympathy and a synergy with Dr. King.
In his autobiography, Mandela wrote that there was a kinship between black Americans and black South Africans, inspired by Americans like W.E.B. Du Bois and MLK himself. But why do you think that bond exists, and do you think many South Africans are observing this anniversary?
You know, the bonds of the struggle of African peoples, wherever they are in the diaspora, certainly automatically creates those bonds. And I think that the particular struggle which is described in the events that are being commemorated today, culminating in tragic assassination of Dr. King and the incarceration of Nelson Mandela for 27 years, creates a bond across the ocean in that regard. I think South Africans are certainly conscious of the struggle for liberation by black Americans, African Americans, as their own struggle was played out in South Africa. And I hope that we are thinking about Dr. King nationally as you are in your country today. And as the same way people have been thinking of Nelson Mandela ill in hospital as a world response is a parallel of that, I think.
Christopher Till, director of the Apartheid Museum, thank you so much for joining us on Arise America.
It's a pleasure.
This is Arise America.